Welcome to the 2019-2020 WCBT Tour Championship. We're in Sherwood Park, Alberta at Sherwood Bowl. We have 12 bowlers remain in our Tour Championship, and by day's end, we'll crown a Tour champion. Our #1 ranked bowler is Dexter Wiseman, and also #1 ranked bowler on 5-Pin Universe.
Our first match today, we are featuring bowler number 5, Taylor Michel from Thunder Bay, against seeded bowler number 12, Steve Cummings from St. Albert. Bit of a difference here. We got Steve Cummings, who's got years of experience on his tablet, and he's bowled on television. He's bowled lots of cash tournaments. And Taylor Michel's fairly new to this kind of format. He's come all the way from Thunder Bay out into Western Canada, and throws a fireball, throws lots of strikes. So we got youth versus experience, and it should be a great first match.
Yeah, looking forward to having a great day. This is the first match. You know, big strikes, a little bit of a unique format in that they're bowling one frame at a time, playing a match play. Ultimately, the end score does matter, but really it's frame by frame that matters. So it's going to be interesting to see who can get off to a quick start and see if that helps, or if it's going to be somebody that's going to wait till the end and run a whole bunch of strikes. So it's going to be a great, exciting day. Looking forward to seeing the first match.
You betcha.
Obviously, we have no live audience today. All the COVID restrictions are in place. I got my cohort buddies here. The lanes are being cleaned and sanitized in between frames, and we're keeping our social distance in the building. So should be a great match. Stay safe, everybody out there, and let's have a great day.
Hi, I'm Taylor Michel from Thunder Bay, Ontario, and I bowl out of Galaxy Lanes.
Hi, I'm Steve Cummings, currently living in St. Albert, Alberta, currently bowling out of Sherwood Park.
So first shot to bowl is going to be Steve Cummings. So we're frame by frame. Steve throws one frame, Taylor will throw 2 frames.
That was a nice start by Steve, yeah.
Great shot for Steve.
Good speed on that first shot, didn't show any signs of nerves. Got the ball out in front of him. That's a great start for Steve.
How much are we playing for here? First frame, every frame is a match play. First match is $50 a frame. Okay, Taylor needs a strike to match.
Ooh, we have our first carryover.
First carryover.
Good respond. Good respond by Taylor.
So as you can see, each bowler will bowl 2 frames now at a time.
So this next frame is worth 2 frames now.
Just a little bit off balance on that shot. Fell off to the right as he delivered the ball, maybe not being able to finish with his arm, and just brushing the ball off to the right side of the head pin. We'll see if he gets the spare. He doesn't leave much behind when he throws the ball. Oh, much better balance on that ball. Didn't get the carry for the spare.
That's a tough break now. So that's 13 count, or 28 count in the first frame.
So if he cleans it up, he gets 15. So Steve would need a striker spare to take the frame. 2 frames, right?
Yeah. Okay, 15 count gives Taylor 43 in the second. Steve's up on a strike. First frame is a carryover, so this will be worth 2 frames.
Steve's our veteran here today.
Yeah, he's got lots that he's experienced. There's not much that's going to be new to him.
Just laid it down.
Yeah, ball was down a little bit. Yeah.
All right, needs the spare now to win the first frame and the second frame.
Steve bends at the waist quite a bit, and sometimes it's a little harder to get the ball out on the lane in front of him when he's throwing. His ball direction is down. He's got to make sure he gets the ball out.
Ooh, a head pin.
Now Steve has to clean up the side for another carryover.
This is where you're cleaning up your pins is important.
Yeah.
Still carryover. If you clean up the carryover. It's not count. Okay, a 2-frame carryover.
2-frame carryover. So strike and then 15. 2-frame carryover.
15 in the second gives Steve a total of 40, and Taylor Michel has 43. So in this particular format, score is important, but it's not what determines the winner. It's frames won. So you can actually have a higher game and lose the match because you didn't win so many frames.
Big shot here for Steve.
It's good.
Needs the push.
Ooh.
He liked it though. That was a nice shot. He felt that coming and he was going to run that out a little bit.
It's a big spare here.
Again, Steve's got to work on getting that ball out in the lane, out in front of him, so it gives better rotation on the ball. If he loses it down, sometimes takes a little bit of stuff off the ball.
Missed that one, so as we see last frame, 15's important, so he's got to get all his wood. Steve isn't a stranger to this format. He was on TSN 3 times, I believe, so he's done the frame for frame format before, so he's got some experience here. Taylor is new to this format.
Quick bowler, Taylor, though.
Oh, that's a big shot.
There's
Strike
a big
for
shot.
Taylor takes 3 frames and $150.
3-frame carryover victory. That was a good shot. Ball was out in front of him. He's very aggressive. Balance was good.
So then he leads off in the 4th frame.
Little chop off.
A little
little
high,
chop
on,
off.
little high on the left side.
Yeah.
So Taylor is our 5th seed and Steve is our 12th seed. Taylor had a good run at the TPC and he was 2nd in Regina Classic.
All right, little loose onto the side there. So there's a 2-pin, so 12 count now. Cleans it up for a 15 count.
Gives Steve a little opening there.
Yeah, Taylor had a great run at the Regina Classic this year and eventually losing to the winner, Tyler Titcat.
15 for Taylor. It's tough because we've had some layoffs for a long time and this tournament actually got delayed, and so I wonder if these guys have been practicing at all.
Yeah, it's
not too
tough
sure.
tough to compete. You know, you haven't been competing in leagues or tournaments, you know, the last few months. So there's a lot of practice balls and kind of getting yourself ready. But once it comes to actual action,
Ooh, head pin.
Right on the
Gets
nose.
a kickback, so it's 7 count.
Gets the 7 count.
He's got to clean it up.
Yeah, he's not out of this frame yet. He's got to clean everything up to force a carryover. Like we were saying earlier, Steve has thrown a perfect game of 450. He's got a high triple of 1108 and a high 4 of 1340. All exceptional scores.
all right, good job there, Steve. You need another
He's
clean
going to
up
take the
that
last
3.
stick to tie the frame.
Steve was originally from Vancouver Island, so he had experience bowling out there. He threw his perfect game in Duncan 3 years ago. He was in Southern Ontario where he was very competitive, and of course in Edmonton. So Steve's been around and knows the game very good.
The
Cleans it up to
carryover.
carry over the
Yeah.
frame.
The 1997 Rose Bowl champion.
Yeah,
Bowled out of Bonnie Doon.
out of Bonnie Doon,
Yeah.
which later became the TPC here in Sherwood Park.
Historic event there at Bonnie Doon. It's been lots of years. Played a big tournament there at Bonnie Doon, and big shot here for Steve.
Oh, a little heavy on the middle. It's a split.
Yeah. Again, Steve's having a bit of a hard time getting that ball out in front of him. When he was throwing warm-up, he was nice and loose, and the ball was out in front of him. He's just maybe just got a little adrenaline going here, and ball's right down at the foul line. He needs to get it out in front of him.
I know it's tough for these guys too, is sitting around waiting, and
Yeah.
Pace takes a side there.
Yeah.
So Daryl, you talked to the guy, Steve, before the match started. How was he feeling?
Yeah, he was feeling good, confident, and, wanted to get off to a good start. He's got lots of experience and, a little bit jokingly saying that he's the older guy of the group. But you know what? Age doesn't matter in this sport. There's some much older than Steve that are playing and still keeping very competitive. So, he was confident. He just wanted to have a good showing and get off to a good start. A little bit struggling here, so.
There's another great shot. Another frame. 2 frames.
He's really enjoyed that left-hand lane so far. He's struck all 3 times. He's thrown the ball there.
So there's 5 frames now for Taylor.
Okay, so Steve's going to have to start winning some frames and catch up on score a little bit.
Another great shot.
You can sure see when Taylor gets free will and he just throws that ball out there a little bit further, doesn't it?
He's
just a quick and free will and
he's not taking much time up on the lane.
Bomb
he
time.
Gets up there and he knows what he wants to do and he gets up and does it. It's
all right, nice, Steve needs a strike.
It's a nice double. Steve has to have a strike here to stay in the match. Taylor's already got 5 frames. Steve's got to have a strike.
Ooh, that's one. He's got one. There you go.
So that's a carryover?
Forces another carryover.
A little bit better, more out in the lane on that one, wasn't it?
Yeah, ball's out in the lane.
Okay, so now this frame we're playing for $100.
All of these guys, and Steve included, they can get on a roll and start throwing a whole bunch of strikes. So it's not over.
Yeah, that's the reason these guys are here. They can all throw strikes. Get that ball out.
Just right on the beak.
Looked all right, just bad location. So that's a head pin. So all the sticks are important here.
Yeah. Clean as wood. Force Taylor to have to get a mark to win another carryover.
On the nose, so it's a 3 pin. So he takes the other side and he'll count 13. Our statistician Blair mentioned that there's been 5 frames in the history of our Tour Championship that have been won with under 13.
Right.
So it has happened before. Okay, so he counted 10 there.
Well, a bit of an unfortunate goal there, obviously, for Steve. Sure, he wanted to do much better than down.
He punched 3 of the last 4 frames.
Right on the middle.
If you notice there, Taylor wasn't quite as solid at the line. Kind of fell out of his shot a little bit to the right. See if he can get the spare here. Needs 11 to win the frame, to win the carryover. And that'll do it. Gives him the spare, gives him a 30 count.
Yeah, it's tough, like getting in those carryovers, right? Like, we've had 3 carryovers already.
Some of Taylor's career highs. He's thrown a 450. He's thrown an 1107 triple and a 1395 4-game total. Again, those are outstanding scores.
1100 triple is a feat.
It is, yeah, very rare.
A little heavy there. Head
Yeah.
pin. One side, so another 5, so he's got 10 right now. Going for the 15. On our 5-pin universe rankings, Taylor is the 28th ranked bowler. So that's a 5-year running scale. So that's 15 for Taylor. Good cleanup. And Steve on the 5-pin universe rankings is 51st.
Opportunity here for Steve to win a frame and a little bit of money. Better than a 15 count, so he needs a strike or a spare.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
There he's on the board. You kind of want to get that first frame early.
He wants to
And get a few
nice
bucks
for some
in
bucks,
innings.
but
Okay, see if he can set this up. Finish out his game here. Gather a few more dollars.
There we go.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's look more like his shot right there.
Potential max for Steve would be a 253 if he strikes out in 10 now. Taylor's got 2 frames to go, 90 count, so potential 275.
Oh, and another frame for Steve. This format's a little different than the other tournaments. Usually it would be straight up score, but
Exactly,
we're doing skins game, frame for frame, so it's kind of a different mindset.
As you can see here, there's a potential that Taylor could max out at a 245 and be a lower score than what Steve could potentially get. But Taylor won the first 7 frames, so that's how this format works.
Mark, do you think there's a change in mindset? Like Taylor won the first 7 frames, so he knows he's won the match. He knows he's going to be advancing. Do you think that changes how you feel when you're out in the lane?
Because you know it's one in the back of your mind. You let up a little bit because you're kind of like, you took that deep breath and you're okay. So yeah, I think it does affect you a little bit.
Takes a little bit of edge off, maybe.
Yeah. It's the first time he's missed left. Okay, so if he spares it up and strikes, he's got a 228 possible game.
See, now here's a situation where Taylor could actually lose the score of the game.
That's correct.
But because he won 7 frames, he would continue to go on. That's a much better ball. Really solid at the line.
Yeah, better there.
I noticed that when he misses right, he falls off to the right.
A little bit, yeah. And usually when you fall off to the right, you have a tendency to pull your arm across your body and miss left. But when Taylor falls to the right, he misses right.
Do you think it's speed related?
It could be. Sometimes.
Footwork?
Yeah.
That was a better one.
Good.
That's a really good shot.
Yeah, solid at the line. Right, good smooth, good fingers, balls out in the lane.
228.
30 count for 228. So in the 10th frame, this is the only frame where there's a possibility of a tie. They can split the 10th frame and each get half the dollar amount. So to win the frame, Steve will have to throw a double.
Oh, gets a kick back there, but
A little bit of a kick.
I thought it was all right. Just coming in a little thick. Do you think he had maybe a little extra on that one?
Yeah, he probably wanted that one. So it'll turn out that
He was a little
Taylor
high
will
on.
win the match from a scorer, but 10th frame still up for grabs.
Good half.
There's a 190, potential 220 for Steve. He throws a strike. Throws a strike, they split the 10th frame money.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be a lot happier with the way he finished the game rather than the way he started the game.
Little bit thick on the first handful of frames. Unfortunate. But that's the way it works. So there's the split of the money.
Tie in the 10th. So we have a final score of 228 to 220, but more importantly, we have 7.5 frames to 2.5 frames for Taylor Michel, and he will be advancing.
Okay, we just finished match number 1. We had the number 5 seed Taylor Michel versus the number 12 seed Steve Cummings. 7.5 frames for Taylor and 2.5 frames for Steve. Taylor had a 228 score and Steve had 220.
Yeah, Steve got off to a bit of a rough start there, and the beginning of these matches are so important because you put the pressure on somebody right away, and Taylor won that first carryover and just seemed to throw the ball a little smoother once he got that behind him. So now it's off and on to the second match where we have our number 11 seed Jesse Krusch against our number 6 seed of Brian Hirsch. Jesse from where's he? Saskatoon?
Yep.
Yeah, and Brian from Calgary. So Brian maybe got a little bit more experience here, played on the Western Tour a little bit more, where Jesse's a little younger.
But Jesse's a rookie on tour this year.
On tour, and we'll see. Again, we got a little bit of a veteran versus a rookie, so 6 versus 11, and we'll see how this goes.
Good luck. Okay, let's take a few moments to acknowledge our sponsors, and thanks for all your support over the year.
Bye.